Today is project and experiment day at the off-grid RV site. I'm about to check out this barrel stove conversion kit. This is supposed to work with a 50-gallon or a 30-gallon drum. That's a heavy kit, I must say. There's the face. So there's the front door. So all I have to do is cut out the frame for that. Okay, there's the top. Curve for the barrel. Nice, a damper. That's something I didn't have on my other stove. Very nice. That must be, I'm thinking that's your pull handle. And some legs and some screws. It's pretty simple. From the looks of things, it's quite simple. I'm going to see if this will fit the barrel that I have. And if so, I'm going to have myself a really nice wood stove this winter, which is going to go in there. I want to measure the dimensions, and if that barrel is no bigger than that pot-bellied stove, and I can get this kit together, then that's going in there. Okay, here is my problem. I have a nice little barrel. Could use some paint, which is no big deal, but the stove kit is too big for it. But I'm wondering if I can use my Sawzall and just put a little zip there and here and bend that out of my way, and do the same here. I'd have to cut it here to here and bend that out. As long as I don't break open the folded over metal here, I'm thinking it should be alright. And then I'll still be able to bolt that onto there at that lip, and it'll hopefully sit flat. Well, the barrel is sitting here. It's not doing me any good at all sitting here, and it would fit in my little shed. So I'm actually thinking about making this happen. Now, I've been advised by many to, if I do this kit, to put sand and stuff in the bottom, which I will certainly do, because I know that the metal barrels are burned through quick. So I think I'm going to try this out. Let me see if the legs will fit. Not really. See, this is absolutely, totally different size. That's annoying. I mean, I could try to make it fit. Try to make it work with the barrel I have. Try it outdoors and test it thoroughly first and see what happens. Well, looks like it'll fit like that. Now I'm going to cut these out. I don't know if that'll come out. I don't know if I can tap off those spouts or cut them off. Well, I'm no expert with a sawzall, I'll admit, so it's not the neatest cut in the world. I didn't stick to the lines as well as I'd like to have. Well, I've got an ugly gaping hole in here, but now the front plate sits flat and flush on here nicely. So now I'm going to drill the holes for that. I'm just drilling smaller holes first. This metal drill is easy. Now I drill the larger holes. Okay, now my front plate should line up with those holes nicely. Now I'm not going to attach it yet, I just want to make sure it will line up and everything is going to work well. Looks like it should be okay. Alright, so that part's done. Now I have to put on the legs. In order to make this work, I'm going to have to put the door on first anyway. I'm just going to use a couple screws here to hold this in place, so I can put the feet on and make sure I line the feet up straight. I'm going to go to the hardware store and get some wood stove cement. Make sure I have a good solid seal around the lip of this all the way around. That way when I set up my airflow, I have good control over the airflow. Now I'm going to center the legs where I want them. It's a really light stove. I can tell right now there's not much weight to it really, because the barrel itself is quite light. I'm surprised how short it is. There's an idea how it's going to look. I think it'll work. As long as I seal that front around the edges, I'll have good control of the airflow. I have one big problem, is that the damper won't fit back here. The barrel's too short for that. So I've lined up the legs on the barrel stove. Well, I've got one leg on, and I think it's going to be fine. This barrel is smaller than what was originally called for in the kit, but that's perfect for my purposes because I'm going to be living in an RV and heating an RV with this wood stove, and I don't want a 50-gallon barrel stove. That'd be way too much for this. So this will work out better. So I've got the legs on the wood stove now, and I've got them tightened, and the face is on. Now I have to turn it over and put the damper on top. We're setting this up. I got help here. We're gonna cut this hole in the top, and that'll be it. Got my helper Joe here, going to show me the best way to cut with a Sawzall, because I didn't do so hot on the other cuts. And also because there's this ridge on here that I have to cut around. Cutting around that ridge is going to be an issue for me, so I'm happy to have help on this one. Look at how smooth that cut. Nice.
Now we get the Sawzall in here, we can cut around it.
Nice.
Get more drill in here, hold on.
Yeah, my problem is I couldn't keep it straight.
By the time we're done, this bit might be over.
Yeah, well. I got a sharpener.
Oh, there you go. It's always good about off the grid, right?
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
That's it. Hopefully that'll get us somewhere.
That smoke is because there was oil in there, you can tell.
Yeah. Smell it.
Yeah. That'll work. Some easily bendable stuff.
Yeah, blade, I'm trying to blade getting stuck in there.
I don't have as much tolerance with this circle as I did with the other thing. With the front door I had a lot more tolerance to work with, and that circle isn't very big, so
yeah,
that's why precision is better on this.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you to help me on this cut.
It's not pretty though.
Yes. There it is.
We win.
Did it. It looks like a hole to me. Now I'll just drill those holes for that, and then now because this barrel is smaller than the recommended barrel size, I've got this ridge to contend with, but I'm going to turn this barrel upside down and beat it with a hammer, and I think I should be able to get that flattened out a little bit. Hopefully.
We'll just beat it.
What do you think? All right.
With what we have to work with, we're doing good.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be a better stove than a 50 for my little shed, because a 50 would burn me out, literally.
Way too much.
And I think this little stove, or this thing, will be a good stove, don't you, for that?
I agree.
And I don't have to fill it. I won't fill it. I'll just burn little bits at a time in there, so I think it'll be fine. This reminds me of the ancient blacksmithing days.
Yeah, right.
This is gonna work. This is seriously gonna work. Better.
Getting a little deformed. I think if we start,
I think the screws will pull it into shape. Yeah, I think
what we need.
we'll put this. That old barrel's getting a new life. Now it's starting to look like a stove. I'll let that cure for a while and probably give it a second coat of paint. And I still got to get the bottom of it. And then I can put it together, seal it up. Well, my barrel stove is painted black all the way around. Still curing in the sun right now. And it is dried out nicely inside. So it's ready for, as soon as the paint is dry, I can start putting the parts together and sealing it with the fireplace cement. The days are pretty short out here now, but I have this high temp stove and furnace cement, good for 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit. And I want to put a nice generous coating of this around the edge of the seams on this stove. Seal it off nicely. I had previously forgotten to drill out the holes for the air intake, so I just finished that. Now I'm going to apply the cement. It says to use a trowel and apply it, and it says it could be harmful on your fingers, so I'm going to wear some cheap disposable gloves. Okay, I started to do this and I remembered, because it wasn't sticking, I remembered you're supposed to moisten the surface before you work. I don't know how well it's going to go because it's drying as fast as I moisten it. Well, let me see if that'll work. That's a little better. Not so much for gloves. Alright, I formed the putty all the way around the edges of the stove, or the front faceplate goes on here. And now drop the faceplate into place, and hoping that when I screw this together, the screws will pull the metal up tight and seal off any gaps. I'm torquing this down nice and gentle. I'm using the screwdriver just to help speed up the process a bit. But notice I'm not turning the screwdriver in the end, I'm torquing the wrench nice and gently. And that's bringing the metal up into place tightly against the face of the stove kit. You'll notice some of the goop has come out at the seams in places, and that's perfectly fine. That's what I wanted. I can scrape that off now, but I wanted a good seal there, so I put a little bit extra than what I needed to make sure it would seat well. Now I've placed putty all over the top here as well. You can see the goop is squeezed out all the way around, so I have a solid seal all the way around the ring. And also the front face, there's a solid seal all the way around. The goop is squeezed out everywhere. So tomorrow I can do a slow burn to cure this stove cement. I was at Tractor Supply and there's a grate, see in there nicely, look at that, like it was made for this. That is so perfect. So I got this grate from my barrel. I'm going to put sand in the bottom underneath to help. I know now only ash and stuff will fall down, but the sand will help as a heat mass and keep the bottom from any intense heat radiation. So I'm going to start a small fire in here. I'm going to put a little chimney stack on top. I'm going to move this away from the camper and start a small fire in here. And as the instructions said, this goop has to cure this stove cement. Needs to be cured by a light, gentle fire, which I will now set up. Got the stove set up in the yard, far away from the RV, and I'm going to attempt to light the fire. I don't have the damper in the front, or the air breather. I want to attempt to light this fire and get that going and see if I can get this stove cement cured, burn off any residual oils, and get this thing usable. Look at that. We've got a flow coming out of the chimney. A stovepipe, proper term I should say. And it's burning. So I'll burn this for a while. Actually I'm going to just keep it burning at a gentle burn for a couple hours today. And just keep an eye on it. And occasionally toss in some wood. And when I know it's ready and it's reliable, then I can take it inside. Barrel stove is burning well, and it stinks. It's burning off all the filth. It was a oil barrel, and it's burning off all the filth inside there. But oh, it stinks. I can probably turn the damper and slow that down a little bit now. Whoa, if I can get to it. Yeah, now I know what they say about the heat. I can't get to the damper. This thing is hot. Oh, if I can insulate my woodshed, my stove shed, this is gonna heat my shed up very well. I can't get to that damper. This is hot. Yeah, that's gonna heat it up nice in there. Going right inside that metal shed. That's gonna heat up that RV really well once I figure out how to insulate it and protect the walls of that shed inside from the excess heat